It's a Tuesday afternoon, a zoo in Utah. A wildlife expert with a PhD is taking notes. The tapir is just standing there, minding its business. And then slowly it appeared. She would later describe it as large and ungainly. It kept coming and coming until it was 60% of his entire body length, dragging on the ground. He took one step forward, stepped on it, and screamed. She wrote it down and published it in National Geographic, the magazine your dentist keeps in the waiting room. Welcome. These are the 5 most jaw-dropping, eyebrow-raising, why does nature do this penis facts in the entire animal kingdom. Stay until number 1, because it is so spectacularly, magnificently, cosmically unhinged that Charles Darwin, the father of evolution himself, spent 7 years obsessing over it and wrote letters about it that would get him cancelled today. No hints. Just trust me. And if the fact that you clicked on this video tells me anything about you, it tells me everything I need to know. You're going to love this. Let's go. Coming in at number 5, the tapir. You have probably never heard of a tapir. That's fine. Nobody has. It looks like someone tried to build a pig from memory after a long night. Hog-shaped body, weird little trunk. Lives quietly in the forests of South America and Southeast Asia, just minding its business. Completely unremarkable until you see the 5th leg. The male tapir has a prehensile penis that is 60% of the length of its entire body. If you are 6 feet tall, that is like carrying around a 3.5-foot appendage. It looks like a 5th leg. It moves independently. It is so large and so ungainly that a National Geographic expert watched a male tapir step on his own penis and scream. Now, here is where it gets genuinely impressive. That same extraordinary piece of equipment is also prehensile, meaning it can grip and it moves with intention. The male tapir uses it like a built-in Swiss Army knife. He uses it to scratch his own back. He uses it to grip the female during mating like a biological seatbelt. He can breed underwater because the tip forms a seal inside the female so tight that aquatic reproduction is entirely possible. This is not just a penis. This is a fully loaded multi-tool that occasionally trips him. Coming in at number 4, the echidna. 4 heads. I need you to sit with that for a moment. The echidna, a small, spiny, egg-laying mammal from Australia that looks like a hedgehog crossed with an anteater, has a penis with 4 heads. 4. Not 1, not 2. 4 rosette-shaped heads at the end of a single shaft. Bright red, stored internally when not in use, hidden away inside the body like a very alarming surprise. Because it only comes out for one reason: mating. Not urination, not anything else. Only mating. Which means evolution looked at this animal and said, you know what? Give him 4. He's earned it. Now, here is where the engineering gets genuinely unhinged. The female echidna has a 2-branched reproductive tract, so during mating, 2 of the 4 heads shut down completely. The other 2 grow larger, and they alternate every single time, left 2, then right 2, then left 2 again. Like a printer that switches cartridges. An extremely committed, 4-headed, biologically rotating printer. And because he only uses 2 at a time, he can ejaculate 10 times without a significant pause. 10 times. Scientists confirmed this with a tame echidna who was more than happy to demonstrate. And the sperm, because apparently regular sperm was not enough, travel in teams. Bundles of up to 100 sperm join at the head, swimming in coordinated formation like a synchronized swimming squad with a single mission. This is not reproduction. This is a military operation with 4 command centers and a rotating tactical unit. And he has been doing this for 50 million years. Coming in at number 3, the sea slug. The sea slug Chromodorus reticulata is a small, colorful, reddish creature found in the Pacific Ocean. It is a simultaneous hermaphrodite, meaning it has both male and female reproductive organs at the same time. So when two sea slugs meet and decide to mate, both of them insert their penis into the other's vagina, simultaneously, facing opposite directions. It is like a very committed, very confused USB cable that somehow works both ways. They mate for approximately 10 minutes. Then they separate. 20 minutes later, both of their penises fall off. They just detach, float away, gone. The sex is over. The equipment has filed for early retirement, and both parties wander off, trailing their former selves behind them. But here is the part that should make everyone deeply uncomfortable. 24 hours later, a brand new one is ready. It was stored internally the entire time, coiled up like a spare garden hose waiting under the sink. The sea slug has 3 of them in reserve. 3. A long weekend's worth of brand new equipment, preloaded and ready to deploy at 24-hour intervals. This is not biology. This is a subscription service. Cancel anytime. Except you can't because you're a sea slug and you only have 3. Send this to a friend who has made a questionable life decision and probably wishes he could detach and come back fresh in 24 hours. You know exactly who I'm talking about. So do they. Coming in at number 2, the elephant. The elephant. Majestic. Intelligent, the largest land animal on Earth, 6 tons of pure, dignified, ancient wisdom, and a fully prehensile penis up to 5 feet long. 5 feet. That is taller than many humans. And it moves independently while he just stands there. Because here is the engineering problem that evolution had to solve. A 6-ton animal cannot thrust. The physics do not work. The logistics are impossible. So instead of thrusting, the male elephant simply mounts and lets the equipment handle everything. It navigates, it searches, it finds what it is looking for, like a self-guided torpedo the size of your very short X. A National Geographic writer watched a bull elephant in South Africa use his penis to prop himself up when the ground was uneven, swat flies from his side, and scratch his own stomach, all in the same afternoon. David Attenborough never showed us that. This is not just a reproductive organ. This is a fully autonomous 5th limb that has its own agenda. It has its own spatial awareness and absolutely zero concern for your comfort level. This is a Roomba, but make it a biological imperative. And if you think that is the most extraordinary thing evolution has ever produced in this category, you have not met number 1. Before we get there, I want to take a moment to appreciate you. Specifically, you clicked on a video about animal penises. You stayed through the 4-headed rotating cartridge system. You watched the sea slug throw its own anatomy away and call it a Tuesday. You are not normal. And I mean that in the most affectionate way possible. You are deeply, specifically, wonderfully weird, and you are absolutely in the right place. What you are about to hear is the most spectacularly, gloriously, cosmically absurd reproductive adaptation in the history of life on this planet. Actual scientists have described it as the largest penis relative to body size of any animal that has ever existed. It involves an animal that has never moved in its life, not once, and yet somehow it reaches everyone. Coming in at number 1, the barnacle. The barnacle. You have seen barnacles. You have scraped barnacles off the bottom of a boat. You have stepped on barnacles at the beach. You have never in your entire life thought about what barnacles are doing when you are not looking. That ends now. The barnacle is a small crustacean, a cousin of the crab and the shrimp, and at some point in its life, it glues its head to a rock. Permanently. Forever. It will never move again. It has committed. Now, here is the problem this creates. It is a hermaphrodite. It needs to reproduce, and it is glued to a rock. So, evolution, which does not accept the phrase "that's impossible," gave the barnacle a penis up to 8 times the length of its own body. 8 times. If you are 6 feet tall, that is a 48-foot reach. And not one person watching this video measures up to a barnacle, not even close. This penis extends out of the shell, blindly feeling around in the water, searching for neighbors. And it can taste and smell. The tip of the barnacle's penis can chemically detect which neighbors have ripe eggs. It is a self-navigating, chemically sensitive, 48-foot reach from an animal that has not moved since the Obama administration. This is not a penis. This is a grappling hook with ambition. And it gets better. Depending on wave conditions, the barnacle changes the shape of its penis. Calm water, long and thin for maximum reach. Rough water, short and thick for maximum control. It has figured out fluid dynamics from a rock without a brain large enough to process the concept of Tuesday. Charles Darwin spent 7 years studying barnacle penises and wrote letters to colleagues asking whether the recipient was a willing agent or adulterer. I am reading this directly from history. He wrote about barnacle consent in the 1800s, before electricity. So there it is. 5 animals, 5 facts that cannot be unlearned. A tapir who trips over his own equipment. An echidna with 4 heads, a rotation schedule, and a sperm army. A sea slug who detaches, leaves his mistakes behind, and shows up brand new in 24 hours. An elephant with a fully autonomous 5th limb that navigates on its own. And a barnacle glued to a rock that never moved a single day in its life, and somehow still reached everyone in the neighborhood. Evolution does not care about your comfort level. It only cares about results. And every single one of these animals is still here. If you are the kind of person who watched this entire video and felt genuinely enriched by the experience, you are one of my people. Curious, slightly unhinged, wonderful company, but only online. Let us not meet in person. Hit the button that follows this channel. Think of it as gluing yourself to a rock. You never have to move again, and we will always reach you. I am building this weird little corner of the internet, one spectacularly questionable species at a time, and honestly, at this point, leaving would be suspicious.